All right, let's get it. You know how people make New Year's resolutions and all of those type of I don't want to call them silly, but like goals for the new year and all of that type of stuff. Well, here's what I want people to do from this moment forward. I want people, and when I say people, I mean certain organizations, to stop crying wolf. Most of us that pay attention are aware of Elon Musk's Nazi salute at the inauguration. And throughout this video, I'm going to try and contrast the difference between how certain organizations react to certain individuals as opposed to how they react to black individuals when they have a perceived slight, uh, when they feel like someone disrespected them or disrespected an organization, etc., etc. So I'm going to read this paragraph from AlJazeera.com about how the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, reacted or responded to Elon's Nazi salute. Washington, D.C. After Elon Musk made an apparent Nazi salute at an inauguration rally for United States President Donald Trump, the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, rushed to defend the SpaceX founder. The self-described anti-Semitism watchdog and leading anti-hate organization in the world dismissed Musk's raise arms as an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm in a social media post on Monday. An awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm. Come on, man. Seriously? I mean, that's just terrible. I mean, first of all, he did it twice. So it was totally like, well, I don't want to say it was planned, but I'm going to just say he was totally aware of what he was doing. Let's compare their reaction to Elon Musk to their reaction to Kyrie Irving and the whole Hebrews to Negroes documentary that he had nothing to do with. New York, New York, November 4th, 2022. ADL, AD Defamation League CEO Jonathan A. Greenblatt issued the following statement regarding Kyrie Irving's apology. This is an encouraging step for Kyrie, but actions speak louder than words. Because of his posts and previous refusals to walk it back, the anti-Semitic film/book is now a bestseller in multiple categories on Amazon. There is a lot to undo this damage. There is a lot more to do to undo this damage. Although we will not accept any funds from him, if Kyrie is open to direct dialogue to repair the harm that he has caused and to engage in a process of healing and learning in a sincere manner, ADL is open to engaging with him. Time and action will tell. That's way, in my opinion, that's a way more harsh critique. And let's just be real, like, he got suspended from the Nets for however many games. He lost his contract with Nike. The penalty for him just liking something. Again, this is a documentary that he did not executive produce. He wasn't featured in it. He just basically liked it. And they had all this smoke for Kyrie Irving. That's crazy, right? And I mean, I don't even want to talk about how much smoke they had for Kanye and Nick Cannon. But here's a guy that's doing a Nazi salute on stage for the world to see, and you brush it off as just an awkward gesture. But when it's someone black, you want them to basically lose their career, lose their money, get down on their knees and beg for your forgiveness. What about Mike Vick? I'm old enough to remember the Mike Vick scandal with the dogs. Let's read about how PETA treated Mike Vick. Published July 20th, 2007 by PETA staff. Last updated August 18th, 2017. Why 10 years later? I don't know. But anyway. PETA campaigners and activists converged on NFL headquarters in New York to urge Commissioner Roger Goodell and the NFL to suspend Mike Vick in light of his recent indictment for alleged involvement in the horrific cruelty associated with dog fighting, including allegations that he was killing dogs by hanging, slamming them to the ground, drowning, and electrocuting them. Surrounded by reporters and TV news crews, more than 75 activists lined the streets in front of the NFL building holding signs reading, "Sack Vick," handing out stickers and leaflets to passerbys and making it abundantly clear, just in case Goodell hasn't figured it out yet, that the NFL's weak response to Vick's case is unacceptable. An active protest, 75 activists handing out leaflets, pamphlets, basically wanted to end Michael Vick's career. And this, let me be clear, this isn't about the cruelty to animals and whether you agree or disagree. This isn't about that. Matter of fact, the entire video isn't about whether you agree or disagree with the allegations. The video is to illustrate the reaction from certain organizations and the contrast in how they respond. Governor Kristi Noem, who's just been appointed as the Homeland Security Secretary in Trump's cabinet, bragged about killing her dog. In fact, she was kind of giddy about it. Let's see what PETA had to say about her actions. Most Americans love their dogs, and we suspect that they'll consider Governor Noem a psychotic loony for letting this rambunctious puppy loose on chickens and then punishing her by deciding to personally blow her brains out rather than attempting to train her or find a more responsible guardian who could provide her with a proper home. Noam obviously fails to understand the vital political concepts of education, cooperation, compromise, and compassion. I must admit, that's a pretty harsh statement. They came with a little bit of smoke. But in contrast to Mike Vick, where is the statement about the protests? Where are the activists? Why aren't they down on Capitol Hill, or why weren't they down on Capitol Hill handing out pamphlets and saying that they don't want her to be basically promoted within the US government? You see the difference in responses? Ben Roethlisberger was accused of rape more than 3 times. He got a 4-game suspension. A 4-game suspension. There were no protests. No one was saying he shouldn't play again. And it kind of got swept under the rug. But they had all the smoke for Vic. I mean, you would think that Michael Vick was the worst person on the history of the planet. And while I'm thinking about it, congratulations, my guy, on your new coaching job at the HBCU. Next, I want to look at Don Lemon. Don Lemon was fired from CNN last year, I believe. Maybe in 2023, I don't quite remember. For having some quote unquote disparaging comments about Nikki Haley. Let's read what actually was said, and I want you to try and keep it in proper context, right? Remember, his response or his statement was a response to something that she had said about Biden and Trump. But let's read it. Lemon, with CNN This Morning, co-hosts Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, was discussing Haley's suggestion that a day earlier, the politicians over. Let me start over. Lemon, with CNN This Morning co-host Poppy Harlow and Caitlin Collins, was discussing Haley's suggestion a day earlier that politicians over age 75 should be subject to mandatory mental competency tests. President Joe Biden is 80, while another GOP presidential candidate, former President Donald Trump, is 76. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, Lemon said, explaining why he was uncomfortable with the age discussion. When a woman is considered to be in her prime, in her 20s, 30s, and 40s, maybe, or maybe in her 40s. So basically, Don was just saying that Nikki shouldn't be talking about someone's age, and basically saying that some would consider her past her prime. That's all he said, whether you agree with it or not. And he got drugged real bad, calling him a male chauvinist. They were calling him misogynistic. I mean, he was more talking about her physical characteristics as far as in her prime than her mental capacity. So I see how the two are different. But again, Is it really that bad? I mean, I get what he was trying to say. Is it a fireable offense? CNN sure thought so. Let's compare that to this guy pictured here, Scott Jennings, who gets on CNN daily and just lies and spouts nonsense, and he's very abrasive and very confrontational, and yet he gets to keep his job. But let's read what he had to say recently about the wildfires in California. In California, you might have recalled a news story from last year, Jennings said on Wednesday CNN News Night. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California. And the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters. And we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. We have DEI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house was burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are? Is that not like a racist statement? No one is suggesting that there's too many white firefighters or white men firefighters. No one is making that claim. But yet here you are trying to blame the fires that were burning out of control on DEI. You're no different than Trump saying that the crash over the Potomac was caused by DEI. You're no different. Just pure racist. Yet this clown gets to keep his job. And like I said, this is just one of many outrageous things that he says daily. Do you get what I'm trying to illustrate here? It just seems like that punishment for blacks is way more harsh than it is for others. If you're going to come down hard on everyone the same. This is why we laugh when we hear people say racism doesn't exist anymore. And we live in a post-racial society. What a joke. It's all around us. Just pay attention. And no, this isn't about me trying to make everything racial. But my goodness, it ain't hard to tell.
Small business owners call the shots.
Well, I'm going to leave it there for now. I appreciate you guys listening to me rant. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down. If you disagree, get at me in the comments. If you agree, get at me with the comment. Get at me in the comments. I'll respond if your comment is worthy. So, I just want to say thanks for listening. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.